bit of a swing start for the men down there on a big yellow sloper.
For our first two climbers, we will quickly refresh our route as we get
Rushers doing their job out there, of course, absolutely vital in this situation. And apologies if some of the action I'm calling here isn't exactly what you're seeing on your screen. I'm having a few technical issues down my way, so we're trying to solve that out. Next two athletes are on stage. Rafa Paria from India, Farouk Shakia comes in from India as well. Great to see so many athletes and teams that we haven't seen perhaps on a World Cup circuit or this stage in the past. And it is great to have lots of different athletes and representatives out there on the stage. Men's yellow boulder down there, a slopey start, of course, and for the women it's powerful. One of the easier boulders for the women down on the right. And you can see down there on the right, Baratha is just pulling on, comes off again. Those slopers hard to hold and quite a powerful body tension start required. Farouk down at the end starts pulling on now. Left hand on the starting hold, left foot high up on the volume, and then a big rock up in order to make the move.
Di mana pas kualifikasi dari 4 boulder yang mereka harus panjat dikumpulkan skor, ditotalkan, dan setelah itu digabungkan dengan skor mereka dari kategori lead yang dijalankan semalam juga.
Okay, well, we are back, and I think we have some better images for you now so we can see exactly what's going on. So, slopey start for the men, as you can see, out towards the first zone hold, that 5. And from there we progress up towards the 10 after that. So now we can see more closely exactly
women's boulder and women's league final. Dan selanjutnya besok di sore hari akan dilanjutkan dengan men.
So for the men, Baraf there has another long pause with 2 minutes left on the clock of this round. And Farouk, high left foot to start with, rocks up on that. Not a bad first hold on the right of your screen, but it's the second move that's hard, that shoulder press over towards the right sloper. And the ref, Baraf, I think, is having troubles as well on men's 1. So my name is Matt Groom, and I'll be calling all of the action over the next couple of days for you. We've got boulder and lead combined competition. Sunday we have the speed, but remember, it's only the winner who takes away that Olympic ticket. There's a lot to play for. And a couple of favourites coming later on. For the women, Japan's Futaba Ito, she qualified in first position, therefore she will be out last. And then for the men, Serato Anaraku had a pretty special day yesterday. He qualified easily in first position, followed by Dohon Lee and Yoshiyuki Ogasa. For the women, Futaba Ito, Noha Kume and Miho Nanaka makes up our top 3. Looking for 8 to get through to the finals tonight, so all to play for here. And as we know from this competition, it is a bit of a savage cut. Once more, Farouk. High left foot, nearly stuck it that time with the right hand. Not quite, though. She comes down. Has another look with 39 seconds to go. Under 25 seconds. Baraf calls it a day on M1. And actually, Farouk there, using the better beater, going all the way over to that 5 is the intended beater, so we'll have to see. Lena Drapella down there, one of the IFSC photographers, taking some wonderful shots. Do go check out the IFSC Instagram, Flickr.
All right, next up, from the
Ciao Dennis from Singapore.
we will be calling up our
Jimenez Chirac as well. We're just watching a replay here of Baraf.
We have 2 in the women's category.
That was the wrong beater from Farouk there. You need to go all the way to the 5 zone in order to get that working.
Shivani Charak. And in Boulder 2, we have
More athletes on stage now. 2 boulders in action. Well, in the middle of this semi-final, we're going to have 8 athletes climbing at the same time, so it's going to get hectic. Try to stick with us if you can. I'll be letting you know the scores as we go. This series is part of a bigger continental series that's been taking place for the last couple of months. We started off in Rome for the speed, moved to Laval, then of course it was the Pan Am's in the middle of all that. Now we're in Asia, after Australia soon, and then South Africa down in Africa for the Africa qualifier. Ciao Dennis there, pulling on onto the slopers. Let's see how sticky he's feeling as he bumps out to the 5. A powerful move and a big swing. Works his feet across those volumes. No real texture on that at all. And now a big move out left in order to catch it. Good body tension from him. The next hold is a good one, but a powerful move. Just needed a little bit more oomph there in order to get up to the jug. Shivani from India, trying to start her comp off. Again, just a little bit of route reading errors here going on early on. There is a simpler solution to this. I think it might be possible to stick the shoulder move the way she is trying to do it. And in this heat, it is tricky to hold those slopers. You can see from the start, a bit of a bicycle there. Left toe hooking underneath, right foot pressing in order to get a little bit of stability on those starting holds. It's certainly a tricky start. And better beater from her. Hitting the grey volley, we need to go all the way around it though. A big boosty move in order to get around that corner. Yixin Chen on women's 2. First time we get a look at this one. Low start, crouching on those starting holds and a big boost up into a press. There's some exciting boulders yet to come in this round. We've got one with a particularly nasty no-tech surface on the top of it, just to whet your appetite a little bit if you're watching. Slow start, and then this is the throw upwards. She tries to get that right foot engaged, bring it up. Not quite getting the pop she needs there. Wants to creep up to it statically, but I have a feeling that needs a bit more of a bump. It's kind of a semi-dynamic move, this one. Want to start the movement slowly and then at the very end sort of fire upwards, and she just takes a moment here to have a look. One minute 38 left on the clock for this round. The athletes must complete the boulder within that time. Left foot on the jib. Not a lot of texture there, but there's a bit. And this is the movement I was talking about. You start with the slow creep. Get yourself ready, fire upwards. Not quite from her this time.
Coming up on 1 minute per
Yeah, a nice split screen of the action so we can see where everyone is.
60 seconds. Dan kalau kita lihatnya rute-rute di bouldernya sudah berubah dari kemarin.
So Boulder 1 proving tricky still. Shivani, a big crowd shouts
Observasi dan membuat strategi yang beda.
as Dennis is in from Singapore. First time on this jump, you get to see the second part of this boulder on your main screen. Hits the flatty, now needs to make a big movement over. Starts the kick with the right, but not quite enough distance. Slapping out with the right hand, but can't find that hold. With 22 seconds to go, a lot of the athletes deciding to save a little bit of skin early on. It is a hectic round of competitions this. Yesterday we had the qualifying. And go and have a look on the IFSC YouTube channel for a bit of a highlight reel from that.
And that is it. Time is up for our third round as we get prepared to welcome our next two pairs of climbers. Let us first
so we have our next rotation as the buzzers go. A bit of a replay of that move there.
In Boulder 1, representing China is
and some replays stretching over. That was the right idea. Didn't quite have the reach for it or the boost for it.
Our first climb, filling in Boulder 2, is India's Sania Faruku Shai.
Umbrella in action there. That's not for the rain. That's fully just to protect a little bit from the sun. It has been beating down all morning. It does cool down in the evenings, but for now, at this time of the day, although the sun isn't on the wall, those holds have been sitting in the sun for quite a while. Bharatha from India pulling on once more, trying to work out this starting position. Right hand is good, the left hand is okay, but you do need to create some tension, and he goes feet first through this section. Finds the left hand. There is a different method through that. I'm interested to see it with that foot, though. Love it when someone goes feet first. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome once again to Jakarta. We're here for the Asian qualifier for the IFSC. This is the opportunity for the athletes from Asia to get one of those Olympic tickets, which we have been giving away. Quite a few Olympians already, or future Olympians, I should say. Can't call them Olympians until they're actually at the Olympics. Which I was unaware. Shauna Coxey told me that. But once you've been, then you can call yourself an Olympian. Powerful start. As we can see from Hai Hushek from Hong Kong. Hi ho, I should say. Apologies about that. 3 minutes 17 on the clock. Slaps a bit of chalk down on that bottom foothold now. Matches on the sloper. Sometimes a campus method like that can be easy. Your weight's in a different position. It seems a bit counterproductive to not put your feet in. However, that campus method can sometimes work. I'm not sure that that boulder's going to go that way. Hongcheng Yang from China starts her brushing process. And do remember that the Boulder 1 for the women is meant to be the easiest, so you can just see quite how brutal this round is for men and women. No top so far, but we are early on in this competition. Again, trying that campus move. And men's number 1. Farouk back in action on women's 2. Haven't seen anyone get through this starting sequence yet, and no one hitting the first zone. And if you're watching this a little bit unsure of why there are 2 zones, well, this is the new format for the Olympics. It's been tested over the last couple of years, perfected, we hope. And now we get to see it in action here from Farouk. So this nice split screen now showing 2 athletes down on the bottom, and we've got a 3 split screen up and top. And for the first time we saw M2 being done the way it's kind of intended. Love that foot first method through there, but the big shoulder press out is the better way to do it. Check Hu on your main screen there on M1. Tries to bring the toe up underneath to stop the movement, can't quite find it. An interesting set of boulders these actually. Quite packed in on this wall. I'm in the middle of a giant complex. So the timer counts down. We have another rotation. The brushes will be out in action and we move forward. If you want to keep an update on the live scores, there's a free IFSC app that you can download. And I'll keep you up to date with that as we go. Representing Hong Kong, and in Boulder 2, we have currently in the lead. Chua Dennis was scored for 9.7. For the women, Wu Chang Jiang 4.7 is our current leaderboard. Expect that to change, and do remember how this scoring works. So, a little bit different from a normal World Cup. The Boulder round is out of a potential 100 points. That 100 points is added to 100 points for the lead, available later on. Jinbing Huang, he starts the campus method. Better from him this time. Loses that right hand though, you can see it firing off. And it is all body tension and body position on M1. As well as a healthy grunt of power that you need to put into that move in order to get the sequence done. The crowds have been filtering in all morning. It's been a slow start to the morning here. Expect things to get crazier and crazier as this competition progresses as we move into the finals tomorrow. Speed finals on Sunday. Jinbing Huang has another look, chalks up, tries to work this out. Let's see how he figures this sequence out. Those blue lines indicate the limbs you got to start on. Okay, you can see he's in control, then cuts the feet, campus move out, tick-tocks his feet over to the left. Much better from him. And we are seeing progress on M2 as well. Powerful pinch as we see for the first time the 10 hold. Chua Dennis, who is in the lead, is making good progress. This will help us score. Big moves. Are we going to see our first top now? Gets the toe hook in. One last press towards the 25 hold. Holds the toe hook. What a move by him. Ah, but Dennis can't quite put it together. Incredible moment catching that toe there. I thought he was gone. 2:29 on the clock. No real progress towards the first zone there. Jinbing Huang. Clock ticking down towards the 2-minute mark as he pulls again. Matches the slope with 2 hands, gets the swing started, powerful campus out towards the left, nice and low on that hold, doesn't allow himself a lot of room to match, as you can see. He had to do a bit of a finger shenanigans there and hand shenanigans to get him in, and look at this, almost tries to toe jam between the volume and the wall itself. One of our route setters, Pierre there, just sorting things out. Not entirely sure what he's adjusting, but it's the first jib, I think, as the official goes over and has a little look. There will be a technical incident, so unless the athlete has left already, didn't catch it on screen. And a big thank you to the route setting team, or teams, I should say. Of course, the lead wall as well as the boulder, 2 separate teams working together. And harder than you think that. You really have to liaise between the two teams, making sure the boulder isn't overcooked or undercooked, and then the lead complements that. Minute marker goes. Giovanni there had a long look. Jinbing Huang goes again. Progress from him as he hits the red hold, but he hasn't got a lot of time to work this sequence out now. Really needs to figure this out quick if he's going to get it done. Quick shortcut from him, who will pull on, perhaps save until one last go. Women's 4 in action. More slopey holds. Starts off way on the right. I'm talking about the boulder on the top left of your screen. A despondent walk off there. Tiring stuff for the athletes. They were coming out yesterday bathed in sweat.
And with the final seconds ticking down, the climbers are forfeiting to move on.
And 2 seconds to go. We call it a day. That's a great shot with all of the 8 boulders that we have in action. That big kick out towards the left. Frustration from him. And Jinbin did make progress, but not really towards the points. Zhao Quan Kei there, we saw briefly on your screen. Karate kicking out left. Or ninja kicking. Technical term that for you. Legitimately so, to be fair.
Okay, so as mentioned, we have 2 of our semi-finalists for the women's. In Boulder 2, China's Xiang Hongqiu, and doing her Boulder 3 climb is Tania Koruku Chai.
Meanwhile, on the men's climber, we have
Radin on your screen on M1.
On Boulder 1, and in Boulder 2, we have Ho Jung-hee from Hong Kong, and in Boulder 3,
Ho Jung-hee from China there on women's 2. Let's see if she can figure out this sequence. Slow start, big pop up towards the first zone, which is just out of your shot there as we pan backwards. There you can see it. That's the zone underneath. Went for the full static method, trying to get that span. Pocket deliberately designed so it doesn't turn into an undercling. Currently first, 4.7. You can start to see M3 as well there. I'm sure that's Barath down there as he cleans off those starting moves. And there is Barath, just making sure. So you start down on the right of this boulder, pressing with those big blue volumes, feet on the green smears. Then you start to make your way out towards the zone, hits the slope with the left, and it's kind of another one of those semi-dynamic moves. You start off slow and just need to pop at the last moment. You need a little bit more commitment there in order to drop into the 5 and hold it. He goes again on the left of your screen, starts that press out, hits high this time, but again, it's just too far to span the distance. He's not committing to the foot sequence properly here. Raf Pereira finishing, and needs to finish that sequence. So pulling on again, Taixing Shenwang. Up she goes, gets a heel in. Better from her. Now we can see the intended beater on this hold. Makes the match, but again, she wants to go towards the sloper as well. So into the zone finally, now kicks out and presses, doesn't quite make it work here, but he will chalk up and go again, and with a minute left, you can see that excited little shuffle backwards towards that chalk bag and wipes the sweat from his face. Let's see how he did this sequence again. So starts with the palm press, left foot drilled into the bottom, trying to get as much rubber as possible. Right foot on a small jib, just allows you to press. Still not finding that pop he needs. Did it once. So that'll be points on the board, but of course it's worth keeping on going here because the 10 points available and 25 for completing the boulder. So the athletes will climb right up to the very last second on this. And he has another look at the clock with 20 seconds. That scamper now becomes a little bit of a panic scamper as he runs back. Teng Cheng Wong there. Just getting confirmation from the judges. Low zone, high zone, so just the low zone for her. And look over on your left as well. Great progress as the clock times down. I think he'll get the 10 points awarded for that, so definitely worth that run backwards he made. And this is Radin, had to cross through with the right hand. A couple of replays from earlier on. Oh, the double slap, hitting right, moving the left hand up to the sloper in order to do one of those coordination moves. So the next rotation goes, 5 minutes on the clock. And as you can see, all the athletes just taking a moment to try to read these boulders, figure out the sequences. Although in the finals, the athletes will get a chance to have a look at the boulders at the semi-final stage. When they walk out onto the mats, that's the first time they see it. Great to have the Singapore climbing team here out in force. Joao Dennis is still leading the way. Minus 0.1 for every attempt to the scoring area. So every attempt, if they just go to 5, then that score is locked in.
And in Boulder Lead, we have Dennis from Singapore. And in Boulder 4, we have Kajunko from Malaysia.
Junze Hoi on your screen there, starting off his first boulder of the morning. Deep breath, chalks up as he has another look. I went to touch the hold, as I always do. Well, not touch them, have a look. And I was feeling some of those volumes. Incredible how warm they get in the sun, but mercifully that has gone away now, and the skies over Jakarta are clouded over, which does give a little bit of relief for the athletes, but it's the humidity that proves tricky for them. Shivani Sharak there. Right in the center of the wall. I had a World Cup back in India. I never got to go. I'd love to return to that country. And what an exciting year it's been for the IFSC. So many comps, so many countries. Next year things do calm down a little bit because we have that small matter of the Olympics coming up, which takes up a little bit of time. The schedule soon to be released, if not already released, on the IFSC website, so you can check out the dates for next year. If you're watching this thinking, oh my goodness, what do I do without comp climbing? Well, don't worry, we will return. Slow start up, as quite a few athletes have done here. It does seem natural to do it the way she's trying it. It's Natalie there from Singapore. The big boost right out into the undercling of the grey volume is the way, if she can figure it out. And now she has a good long look at that. There is chalk on there, and there was chalk to start with to give the athletes a bit of a tip, a bit of a hint. And look at this, easy out. Now you can see, then hits that sloper. So, Suddenly turns it into a sloper move, into a compression move. The entire dynamics of the boulder alters once the athlete reads it. And the slab down on the left, there we go, we get to see that for the first time. A nasty start there. Taekwon Kea finishing off his semi-final boulder round. Yeah, the pinch he goes up to, there's not a lot to pinch on that. It's deceptively hard, bad feet. He goes again, right foot on. Remember, this is just to get into the starting position, let alone climb the boulder. He's having a long, long think about that before pulling on. One of those climbs where it's not physically particularly demanding, it's just frustrating, but now he's in the position. Taps his foot on the right, he's on the way. Powerful move from the Singaporean athlete. Puts his own foot out in a big stretch.
One last chance.
Charles Dennis
Take your move, and that will be it.
on M3 has a little smile as he leaves the mat. He might have been called back, actually. I'm not sure if there was a technical incident there. This was the last move we just caught on your camera. Grabbing his hamstring. Hopefully he's all right.
And we have...
And just to give you an idea of the stadium we're in, this is a purpose-built new stadium. Brand new for us. Jakarta climbing coming on in leaps and bounds over the last couple of years, and hopefully we'll be returning to this venue, not next year, but the year after. And certainly it's a pretty special place to come climbing. Huge amount of sight for the athletes and the event. Back on the slab, Piera. Fingers and thumbs in action as he pinches the starting hold. That's one method of doing it. Right, he hits the first sloper. It's hard to read this. There's a lot of chalk and a lot of availability. There's an undercling on the left, just above his head, but you only use that right at the very top. First of all, he needs to upgrade that right foot. Finds the jib this time, presses up. Kind of want to ignore that though. It's a bit of a red herring early on. I want to try to go all the way up to the 10 zone first and then reach down and catch it. And do you remember when I'm telling you the beta, this is the beta that I've been told by the setters. How many times have we seen athletes break the beta, right? So just be aware of that if you're watching. There's not one method to do this, there's a few.
The first one on Boulder 1, we have Indonesian climber Ramadan Ramadan. And Boulder 2, we have Ryan Folger representing Islamic Republic of
Vanessa
Iran. In
from
Boulder
Singapore
3,
there.
we have Chuk Hei Ho representing
3 minutes left on the clock. Down at the end, we got the slab in action once more.
Representing India.
Tries to find that left foot. It's blind underneath him. Got to have instincts in order to hit that. Slaps out, just holds the shoulder press. Braff finishing off his run. Right, now brings the right foot up. Will he come into that press again? A little bit, but you can see the move required now as he shows up. If you just trust that side pull all the way up and left, you can hit the hold 10 easier than pressing. From Indonesia, he got a massive reaction when he came out. Great to see Raviandi Ramadan in action. Comes up into the jug, and this gentleman, trust me, I've climbed in a gym with him. Absolute crusher. Up with the left hand, hits the flatty, bumps and adjusts, gets 2 toes in underneath and makes the match on the 10, but it's a big coordination move halfway for him. And we'll have a little sit and a rest. Farouk. Now these holds, no texture from here on in, which I thought was, well, it might seem like a little bit harsh, but those no texture holds actually tend to work a little bit better when there's a bit of moisture in the air. Do you remember in the World Champs when the athletes were putting water on their hands and fingers in order to make the grip a bit better? So this is actually one section where the humidity might help them.
Yes, our first
He's trying to get a foot swap in here. He wants to bring that right foot in underneath. I'm not sure if he wants to kind of Houdini swap her feet, jump one onto the other, or do that cross. A couple of options available depending.
We still have approximately 60 seconds to go on this climb.
1 minute left for all the climbers, all 7 climbers remaining.
Well, if you're just joining us and missed the beginning,
our best supporter, please give an applause!
welcome to Jakarta. Progress on the left, look at that, crimping the very top of the volume. Impressive stuff there in order to try to get to the 10. Didn't work, but I'd love to see it. Indonesian hero here, easy through the first moves. Now it misses the left foot above the jib. Into the 10 for Vanessa on the right, and this was the move just before he crimped the top of the volley before hitting that press. Oh, we roll again.
In Boulder 1 and in Boulder 2 we have Wu Shooter representing China, and in Boulder 3 also coming from China. Please give applause for Wang Jinbei. And Boulder 4
Shivani has a look at Boulder 4, her final boulder of the morning.
And for our women's round in the semifinalists, we have filling in Boulder 1 with her first climb from Indonesia,
Once the
Aisyah
jump starts, it's
Ramadhani.
so much harder than they look.
And in Boulder 2,
Try running and jumping on sand. It's a little bit like that. Not quite, of course. It's a mat, not sand, but it is that feeling when your feet are sinking in and those running starts.
and in
Actually
Boulder
quite tiring for the
4,
legs.
we have doing her final climb, India's Shivani Sharaf. Good luck, climbers.
Nurul Ramadhani on the right for Indonesia. Trying to get the starting position here. The intent only counts when both foot leave the mats. And immediately with the correct beater there. Good work from her early on. Fairly sure it was her flash go as well. We'll have another look at the start of this. We made easy work of that first pull-on move, high feet, in order to rock up and power through. In Kazakhstan, Alexei is about to pull on. Just on the left of your screen, there he is. Up towards the sloping, tries to get 1 foot on. Off the ground and underway. No go from him. Had a fairly good lead round yesterday. We didn't lose too many for the semi-final. It was 6 men and 2 women. Qualifying semi-finals and finals all take place in this Boulder and Lead format as we work our way towards the finals. And if you watch any of these comps that combine the two events, you'll know how exciting it gets. Later on, when the athletes simply have to climb as high as possible in order to get into that gold on the lead. But look, progress here. So current leader, almost at the slot. I love watching him climb. He's so expressive when he does so. You know exactly what he's going through out there on the mats. But one move away from, I think, is our first top here. Junze has a look at M2.
Almost there.
007, wonderful number. Shivani has a rest at the beginning. She finally pulled on. It took her a long, long time to get up to that point, so now she's in action. And it is a good resting position. That right foot, though, on no-tex. Look at it sliding down as she has to trust it. Gets a toe hook in around the corner, trying to find that jib. You can see the rubber being left by her shoes as she hits it. Popped it 3 times. She's still on, though. What a fight from her. Now into the no-tex, pressing up with the thumbs underneath. Tries to crimp the top of it. There's no real edge. Goes down, has a long look at that finger. Remember, skin might be an issue. Keep an eye on Dennis on the left. There he is, into the 10. Thumb wrapped around. He's already been given this score.
About 15 seconds left. Climbers, you have one last opportunity.
Frustration with 9 seconds to go. He'll leave. I'm not sure that's going to be enough to get him through to the next round, and he knows it. Head hanging as he leaves the stage.
Thank you, climbers. Very good, very good.
Let's have a look at the scores as they stand. Yin leading the way from Singapore with 10 for top 8.
Singapore climbers. Please give applause for Luke Wan B. In Boulder 2, Indonesian climbers. This is Rocky Ramadan. In Boulder 3, we have Radin Forogian representing Islamic Republic of Iran. And last but not least, in the band in Boulder 4, we have Chapeo
He's on the way.
representing
Big
Hong
Singapore
Kong.
presence, as I said, trying to figure out where those hands are.
We are welcoming
Wider towards the edge, so wants to hit it generally in the middle. He's attempting not to use that campus method. Flicked into the campus at the last round and dropped those feet out. I think he might change that next time. Drop it earlier on.
Second line is Singapore's Vanessa Teng in Boulder
Check out Ho in action, right foot up. Ignores the underkick, just uses it, as you can see a little bit, trusting that right hand as he creeps towards the 10. Inches away now, needs to hit the black hold itself to get the points though, not the volume. You can tell because the line goes to the jib and not the volume itself.
Climbers, you have approximately 3.5 minutes remaining.
Napatika, Astu on your screen there. Easy cross to start with, gets the left foot up. Hooks underneath, bumps over towards the grey volume, tries to make it work much better from her, and you can see now, although she loses the feet, how much easier that move is than some of the athletes we watched earlier on in the competition. Wide stance there on that women's slab. It's all about foot sequence in the middle of this. Middle volume with a jib on it. He's trying to work out a few different methods. She's going for the big stretch. Oh, right foot. All I can do is watch that right foot as it slides down on top of the volume. You just know what she's feeling in that moment. And yeah, that face says it all. Gritted teeth as she comes down and re-chalks up. Nasty moves early on from her. Luke Bin Wen on the left. Picks up the brush, walks back deliberately.
to the left climbers.
Radin was in action there. Now you can see this foot movement I was talking about. Trying to get the left foot on, big slip, and she comes down. It's all in the feet on this boulder. Not particularly powerful in terms of shoulder and arms. You just have to try to figure out how to move that right foot in. I do think there are a few different methods. If you're a bit of a slab wizard. Added once more into the starting position. High right foot. Doing it a very, very different way. Good to see this. Great flexibility from him. He still has to hold the swing, but as you can see, just not quite as powerful as jumping all the way over to the 5. Smart work from him. Now he changes the feet, gets the right foot up, starts this swing. Begins to kick up. Huge jump, missing the entirety of that big blue volume you can see in the middle. Well, he's thinking outside the box, but I think he might want to go back into the box a little bit for that move. Use that volume, use the press. I think he's going all the way up to the 10. Let's see this again. Powerful right hand to trust that right foot. Makes the foot swap, just holds it, kicking against the wall. He's into the 10 now. Should be points on the board for him, but can't make it work. And 35 seconds to go. He's going to have to be quick if he wants to pull on. Have another go at that one. Ben, once more. Hits the undercling, doesn't hit the foot. It's one of those coordination moves. Athletes leave the stage on the right-hand side.
All right, a round of applause for our climbers as time winds down on our 10th heat here in the
3 seconds to go. That might be the zone hold he was looking for there. He'll wait and see from the judges. Head in his hands. He's disappointed. I think he just read that wrong after that massive jump as we watched a couple of these replays. The athletes slipping and sliding. Another good round as we hit another rotation. Yeah, so just to give you a bit of context about where we are here. We're in the middle of a giant park right in the heart of Jakarta. You can see a stadium behind us, or behind in the shot. And all around, roads linking, there are running paths. And you wake up early in the morning here in Jakarta and you can see dance classes going on, fitness classes. It is a hub of sport where we are, and this climbing venue really deserves its place in amongst all of that. Let's see women's 2 again. I want to see the first move of this. I haven't seen anyone really get through this. How's it all right?
Meanwhile, with her second climb on Boulder 2, that is Indonesia's Aisyah Ramadhani. And we have filling in Boulder 3.
Yeah, we have seen a few of those low zones on this boulder. Up into the press, but falls. Nuro turns. Frustration on her face on this first move. And I think everyone knows what it's like when you can't actually do the first moves of a boulder. It drives you crazy. Apologies if my voice is a little bit low. We're trying to sort it out. Junjae Ho starts again into the 10 zone. Trying to figure the sequence out. You can't really stop on that sloper. You need to coordinate yourself, move over to the right on that. So we go again.
$60 seconds remaining for our climbers on this round.
So once more with 50 seconds to go, we come into the slab. Left hand pressing underneath. Rotates around that slope up. And Kazakhstan, look at that maneuver there. Drops off the big yellow dish. He's trying to match it. Not a lot to hold on to with no feet on that one. Trying to stop the swing in the middle. Big foot swap there. She's done. 19 seconds to go. She'll call it a day.
All right, one round of applause for our climbers for our 12 feet.
We will have 2 Chinese climbers allowed.
Again, getting closer on that coordination move. Not quite.
Okay, thank you guys for your
Right, the brushes are out on the mats. Let's have a look at a few of those replays. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Margarita there, not quite getting. We're making real progress on women's one.
In Boulder 1, we have representing
There, couldn't quite make the move. He came down, and Margarita again held that great volume for just a microsecond before coming down.
This is Luke Van in Boulder 3. We also have another Indonesian climber. This is Raviandi Ramadan.
Raviandi Ramadan is announced to the audience. Ravianto, I should say. Brother of Raviandi. 2 brothers climbing together.
From the women's semi-finalists, filling in lane 1 or Boulder 1 is Indonesia's Alita Tahlani Suma with her first
foot up. Looks frigid. Can't see it at the moment. Just fully on that right foot. Doesn't work. Needs to get that right foot down.
lane or Boulder 2. In Boulder 3, making her way to the top there is Singapore's Vanessa Tang with her third climb. And finally, we have returning for Boulder 4, and her final climb is Hong Kong's Wong Sun-Chun. Good luck to all of our climbers.
There is Ravianto. We mentioned him earlier. He's starting his journey on boulder number 1. Takes a moment to clean those shoes off. That really jump starts on the women's 4 is a real savage one, isn't it? And lots of power in the legs in order to make that jump
We
off
have
those soft
4
mats.
Indonesian climbers, 2 Singapore climbers, and Guatemala and
Radin finishing off his comp.
Wow.
Trying to crimp the edge of the volume that is allowed. Occasionally you'll see these setters put in a blocker if it's particularly important. It does just sometimes allow them to change body position. Look at that inside flag with the left pressing against the wall, but the second he moves it, yeah, there we go, that barn door was going to kick in. Currently sitting in 3rd, Radin would like to boost himself up the score a bit. Some big names to come. Suratu Anraku qualified in 1st position for the men. Fitaba Ito, 1st position for the women. There's the other brother. There Andy starting this jump. On 2, close, much better from him. One of the athletes who climbs in a local gym here, which is right in the middle of the mall. I'm watching IFSC videos and you see what I'm talking about. Good progress now from Luke Bin. Stands up, 1 move away. This is where we saw that incredible toe hook from before. There is the toe, reaches up to a 25. We could see our first top of the morning. Needs to match it, 2 hands, in control. Struggling with that right foot though. Doesn't need double toes. Needs to trust his own smearing with the right foot. It's the press with that right foot immediately popping off, and you can see the big black mark left by his shoes and a few others there on the volume. There are some more feet, potentially a double toe hook, I guess, but I mean, anyone holding that would be masterful, so I'm not sure we're going to see that. And again, women's number 4 proving problematic. Radianto not getting the first opening sequence. He's been awarded that zone, but that's all so far. 1:07 on the clock. Once more, those purple volumes getting covered in chalk.
The difficulty level of our boulders here in the semi-finals has increased as our climbers continue to try to solve.
Well, hopefully the audio is a little bit better now, sorted out for you. Apologies about that if you couldn't hear my voice. Perhaps for some of you that's better, but hopefully now you can hear me a little bit more clearly. Well, if you did miss me saying it, this is the Jakarta, or in Jakarta, for the Asian qualifier. The winner of this competition for the men and women will take an Olympic ticket. And we do actually have a giant Olympic ticket. Usually given away after the event, but it does exist. And medals, of course, although at this stage, really, it's only the winner who's going to be celebrating. Second place is such a brutal place to finish up. Shigeho losing out to Arena Panjat in the last comp, was a particularly brutal one. Toby Roberts winning for Great Britain in Laval as well. Go back and watch those. They're free to watch on YouTube, so you can go and check that out. If you want to see some of the European action from the qualifiers. Well, we're flicking around, move through, about halfway through now this boulder round of the semi-finals.
We have three climbers. Please give applause for John Jung-woo.
Look how close he came, nearly got it, 2 hands on, but it won't count for the top. He's got no control of that.
From Indonesia. In Boulder Lead, this is Alexei Panfilo from Kazakhstan. And in Boulder 4, coming from China, please give applause for Wu Jun-soo.
All right, and we welcome our first.
All right, well, with 30 seconds gone, the athletes once again pull on. Have a look at that slab on the left. We know the foot movement now. He's doing some very, very good footwork. Gets the right foot on the starting holds. Look at the ease that he drops into that initial side foot. Now changes the feet, tries to bring it up onto the jib. Got to trust that. He wants to put the left on. That will require the foot swap, which it does get in.
Is Singapore's Natalie Go.
Lee Ju-seok from Korea on the right, she's underway. Good progress on this slab now, hits the 10 very, very briefly. Not for very long though. The tire brush obscuring that jib. Feet first again, in the middle of the wall, there we go, look at this. I do think this is the wrong way of doing it, but I'd love someone to pull it off. It's the hand, comes down. Maybe an awesome show of body strength and tension, but I've seen these athletes do some pretty spectacular things, so you never know. And I think the more rubber that gets on that, the more the athletes might be fooled perhaps into thinking that's the easier way. We'll have to see. Again, I reiterate that although there is an intended beater, one of the best things about climbing is watching the athletes break that beater. So let's see. Junse, up he goes again. Left foot better on the jib this time as he stands up, looks towards the press. Much better body position, easily into the 10 now. He'll be awarded that as he gets the right foot up and loses the right foot. Just a little rushed from him as he slips off the jib. He needs to find a way through that sequence up towards that blocked 25 on top. Lee Ju-seok. Didn't see her first moves, but she's through. Halfway through the boulder with half time gone. That is good work from her, although skin, so many athletes looking down at the skin. 3 days in a row for whoever progresses into the finals mean there's going to be some bleeding tips out there by the end of this. Of course, everyone in the same boat, so fair enough. So, rest as we come up to the 2-minute mark. Margarita, there she is on women's 2. Again, one of those athletes where you can see every single emotion that goes through her. She looks exhausted out there. And my commentary box position means that I can get to see the athletes leaving, and I have yet to see an athlete looking fresh as they walk out of the ISO area. It's completely exhausting in this heat. All right, here we go again. Wraps that hand. Can't make it stick though. Comes down. Frustration from him. 1 minute 20 on the clock. Grabs the brush. And people know how much I love colour coordination. Look at colour coordination in that boulder is. The brush is purple. He's got a purple going on in his uniform. Looking very smart and suave. 34. There is Yiju So. Into the 10. She's already got the points for this, so it's the 25 she wants. Presses in underneath, trying to get everything involved. There's a hip in action there. Love that as she hits the crimp. Has the heel in, makes the match. Tricky moves coming up though, no text above that. And although her fingers will be on a bit of friction, the palms will be sliding down and making things tricky. Keep an eye on the right of your screen, creeping up towards that zone hold. This is where he got to before. Tries to figure it out, leg pressed against it, right hand, left hand. Oh, what a fight from him. Bumping himself up, and the bobble goes. The slightest little coordination, and he's done there. Junze Ho will pull on again, though, with 20 seconds to go on your left. Nurul falls, holds her knee. Having a right battle. And 6 seconds to go. She just confirms with the judges her score. That is what the athletes are doing when they walk down towards the front of the mats. Just check to make sure that everything's correct. Of course, the coaches, national teams will be checking as well, and we know what the appeal process is out. That's Margarita running away across, couldn't get it. Feet first again on M2. Coordination moves from Jeongwon Chom. I didn't see too much of him during that broadcast. Jeongwon qualifying a little bit further down. I bumped into him in the hotel, and he was disappointed with his score. But Do Hyun Lee, his young prodigy, way up on the scores, just below Serato. Second place for him, he'll be out second to last. Good to see the Korean team so strong at the moment. Ravi Andy easily into the first starting position, makes the hand swap, and that was harder than he made it look as he makes the match on the pinch. Beautiful footwork from him. Now, he wants to put the right up, needs to get the left up, unless he can make it work like this with that right hand. But the amount of tension that goes through the arms in this position, you can just see, as you stand up, having that right foot pushes you backwards, and having the left allows you to drop the flag in underneath and steady yourself a little bit. Women's 4 as well, real progress on that one. We stick with women's number 1. First time we get to see Ying Li. And she comes. Taipei will rest on the mats, facing away from the audience. And you can see, look at women's 2 on the left of your screen. There's a different method creeping up towards the no text section. Under Ravi Andy. There she is, now into the no-text, into the 5, that sparkly gold no-text surface. Holds the 10. The final hold on this is no texture as well. This looks horrible to me. It does work a little bit better in these humid conditions, so the chalk on her hand, she'll want to rub off a little bit. Now there's a jib out by her left hip, you can just see it on the wall. There it is, she looks down at it. I think the foot swap might be required here. Trying to work her foot in, one of these Houdini swaps where she swaps the left for the right, drops down, hits it, good work from her. One move away now, into the jib. And there's a corner, she's right in the arete. You can't see it on your screen very well, but it's almost at quite a hard angle. She's curved around that. Tries to shake out, drying some of the moisture from her hands. Needs to trust the left foot. Up she goes. Not quite enough to hit the side pull. And she was on the wall for a long time, and she knows it. It was almost 2 minutes there she was on the wall. Need to find a quicker method if she wants a few more goes. So Vanessa, with her hands on her hips, will reset herself a little. Ben, in the middle of your wall on M3, swings into the zone. Indonesian athlete now pressing upwards towards that next hold. It's a huge flag if you hold it right. You hit the high hold, palm down with the left in order to stop the swing. That is the method required for that. I see progress from Ben on M3 as well. Huge launch, he's going to go for it, hits the left. Not quite enough for the right.
Boleh kali, kasih tepuk tangannya mana dong?
There we go. A quick recap.
Great shot of the angles on the wall there, and you can see the amount of real estate the setters get to play on. 40 degrees down on the right, 0 degrees on the left for the slab, and a variety of angles dotted throughout this wall. This wonderful new purpose-built facility here in Jakarta. And wonderful hosting from everyone here. Thank you so much for all of the accommodation and help that you provide. So back to women's number one. Athletes making it far easier now as they read the sequence better. Perhaps some experience kicking in. Some of these athletes pretty new to the game. Yingli Hung up. Friction on the right. She needs to turn her body over to the left. A little bit slower than she was doing in order to catch that. She sits. I'll have to go again with 35 seconds to go, and she does. I think she was a little unaware of the time there, but caught a glimpse of it out the corner of her eye, pulls back on. Vanessa, well, it might have taken her a minute and a half to get here, as it did before, but she's back in action now on this final moves. Needs to be quick, makes the swap, left foot up. One more chance at this with 14 seconds to go. Gets set for the side pull, powers upwards, but was always going backwards, and it's not going to be a big smile on Vanessa's face as she finishes off her competition. Strong performance from her as she leaves the stage.
And
So wait and see. Remember, it's just the top 8 who move through to the next round.
Prepare for heat number 15. We will start by introducing you to the men's semi-finalists.
Love that M2 end.
In Boulder Lead,
So powerful and so hooks in.
we have Cheer and Fun.
Luke Bin, sorry, I said Ben. Bin, I meant to say.
We have Korean climbers.
Luke Bin came close on the coordination moves, couldn't quite figure it all out, link it together.
We have Korean representing Indonesia.
Indonesia out in force. A lot of people know the Indonesians for their speed climbing team, rightly so because of the amount of world records and gold medals that they've won. But the lead and boulder team is coming on. A lot of investment in climbing here in Indonesia.
Here is Kim Jain.
For the men, quick threat. More than halfway through the semi-final now. Scheduled to finish around about 12 p.m. Indonesian time, so about 45 minutes left to go in this round. Then we'll have a break. At 5:55, we will start the lead round of things. And remember the scores, 100 points available for Boulder, 100 points available for lead. Those two are combined for a possible maximum score of 200, which we've yet to actually see. Someone will do it one day. Great work on women's 4 here, much quicker. Look at that, a minute 20 in order to read that and get into the position. Nora crosses those feet, good work from her. Come on, I want to see some chops here. Stands up on that 10, 5 and 10 right next to each other. Jain Kim in action, down on the right. And Jain Kim is making brilliant work on this. Hits the top, and that is our first top of the afternoon. She comes down, perfect start to her competition. She had a wonderful lead round. There was a lead route yesterday that suited her. And you just have to grind it out, more endurance and resistance rather than big bouldery moves. Jain Kim starts things off, and certainly the experience of the athletes from this point on, we really step up. We see World Cup athletes from now on, or regulars in finals and semi-finals. And you will notice the nature of these boulders changes a little bit. Alexi rests on the side pull. He's got to have some sticky skin as he makes that work. Tries to figure out, look at that, wrapping his foot around the bottom jib foothold. Haven't really seen that method. He's trying to smear on the right wall, but the tension that you must need to do that. I think he needs to make this foot swap happen, and you can see now, yeah, there it is, foot swap in. Little flag in order to stop that barn door. We'll need to bring that left foot up underneath his body, hit the jib, commit to the side pull. There's so much going on technically on this boulder. And eventually, I think he was just hanging around too long in those slopers. Doesn't brush it, which surprises me. He's got 2 minutes. He has time to do that. I would have. Anyway, he's pulling back on. Yu Ju So is on your screen there. She makes the jump up into the press on women's 2. Hits the left hand now. Margarita in the middle. She's on a coordination sequence. Here is Seo over on the left, but nowhere near, and she still looks down at that finger. I think it's causing her a lot of problems. All climbers do tend to look down at their fingers, but she was right from the beginning on Boulder 1, was staring down at that left hand, so I think there might be a bit of a problem there. We'll have to see. Well, she made good work of it before. Nurul is up and standing once again into the business end of this comp. There are the 2 zones, 5 and 10. She has been awarded those already. Brings the right foot through. And to me, it's tricky to read this. Normally, if the top hole had a bit of friction, you'd go for a dynamic move up there, but because it doesn't, you need to creep through. Margarita, good progress in the middle. From Indonesia, great flexibility there. Putra eyes up the next hold. I did ask the setters whether you can stop on that hold, and they sort of shook their head with a wry smile. Although, we saw it in Laval, women's coordination boulder in the finals. Stasha managed to stop on the non-stoppable hold, so you never know.
Some of our climbers have chosen to forfeit this climb to save their energy for the next round with about 10 seconds remaining.
10 seconds remaining. Not going to be enough time here. As you can see, 1 second to go. He floats off your screen.
For our climbers. We are set to welcome our next set of climbers for our 16 feet. Ezra, who do we got?
There is Jongwon Chon. We didn't really get to see him on screen, but a quick top of M2 to get him underway. Firing off the sloper there is Nurul. Came down, disappointment, had to trust that. And that was Jain Kim, who blinked and you missed it. Rushed that first boulder. And she needs to do well here. Boulder, a weaker discipline compared with Lead. So she needs to keep in touch during this round if she wants to progress into the finals. And she did well with a good start in that boulder number 1. And Margarita launched up, couldn't quite hit the slopers. Little roll to finish things off. Aichi Narasaki comes on the far right. You can see one of the tallest competitors, head and shoulders above everyone else. He kind of dominates that stage, doesn't he? Does have a different style, uses that height well, and he's underway. Shen So.
There you see her on the right on Boulder 1.
A little bit further down than I would have expected in terms of qualifying. Obviously did more than enough. For some of these more elite athletes, it might have been a bit of a tactical decision, not giving it everything. We didn't need to lose that many athletes in order to get to this stage. There's no point in pushing too hard, and of course draws less likely in this round.
In Boulder 4, we welcome back for her final climb, Asumi Nabatika.
A lady who's gone away, worked on her boulder in the last couple of years and has improved so much. Lovely shots on Lena, the RFSC photographer, took yesterday of her and Jain Kim together. They're good friends, those two. Remember in Chamonix when Shen So missed the clip, meaning Jain took that win there. She might have anyway, but didn't get the chance to fight. But those two have a wonderful relationship and sort of feel like knowledge is being passed on here. So locks in the heel, easy up into the first 10 grey hold, makes the match. Better progress from her now. Those double heels in, known for that kind of a technique. Drops the left foot, finds the sloper with the right. Now makes the match. She's one away now. We saw Jeanne Kim make this move look pretty simple from here. Hits it with the left, gets the toe in, makes the match. That is what she needed to do. That is 25 minus the attempt, 0.1 minus every attempt towards the scoring area.
From the Korean contingent, with her first climb completed, she will get an extended rest.
Fabian Toe with the split move, sets himself for the launch. Now the problem is launching with a foot that high up as he's trying to do, you can't really drive and that foot gets in the way as you come over. You can see he's not quite set himself. Now drops the right foot, but can't get the distance on it. Bit of a thinker, that one. Falls back to the edge of the mat. Totally sticking out.
Our updated leaderboard on the right side, where we have posted
there is
both the
Do-Hyun Lee.
men's and women's category after his completed
Sorry,
climb.
Lee Jung Song out and about.
The South Korean climber, John Won, who has taken the lead. And Dennis Chua still in second place at this time.
Meichi made good progress on the first moves, hit the first 5 zone. But
Meanwhile, in the women's rankings right now, Singapore's Vanessa Tang in the lead. However, Kim Jang-in and Seo Chai-hyun closely behind, along with Margarita Akabayeva, each having approximately 24 to 25 points, followed by Aisha
Purple volume, there's a bit of a run across it.
out the top 5 at this time.
Good chance to show the angles again. So
1 minute warning.
as she pulls on women's 2, 18 degrees to 42, there is almost like a roof-like feature there, made more with the press. Then she starts to travel to the left towards the 30 degree, hits the sloper, better from her, couldn't make it stick though. Meichi Narasaki pulls on to M1. Boulder number 3 is empty at the moment, I'm being told, just to work some things out. I think that's men's number 3, because women's number 3 is in action. So just a bit of a, there was a technical incident earlier on, and there you can see M3, oh no, not empty. I think it might be empty after the next round, perhaps what we've been told. So 11 seconds, we'll have this rotation.
Thank you all players for the good effort. And now we will
Let's watch this move out. He hit the sloper,
couldn't
make the match.
And
so took her a few goes, but eventually latched that top hold. Good start to her comp. I would have wanted to have done it slightly quicker, I'd imagine. Always frustrating when you realise a boulder is perhaps a little bit easier than when you thought with a different method. U5 Pan is on for the men.
We have Korean climber
Zilolo for the women.
and Boulder 4.
Down on the right of your screen, Jeanne Kim, back with that yellow bow in her hair, which is
Okay, so welcoming
one of
back
her
some of
trademarks.
our semifinalists, her first time in Boulder 1, representing
Jian
China
Fan.
is Zhang Yue Tong.
Powerful start to empty, a lot of attention required before you unleash that yellow hold. That's the one we watch. Lots of people trying to go feet first on it. No one making that method work, much to my disappointment. I want to see it work. Progress from U5 Pan as well on M1.
And with her final climb on Boulder 4
Low as
is
well.
Kazakhstan's Margarita Akabayeva.
So we stick with 1 and 4, men's 4 down on the right. Putra finishing things off for Indonesia. And again, now we see, look at that, easy, swinging high above the crowd. Yeah, women's 1x1 started off, we had most of the top, well, the first 15 athletes really struggle on that move, but as we progress, the quality rises up a little bit. We're seeing women's 1 go down pretty quickly now from everyone. So if you want to make it into the top 8, it's becoming a bit of a vital boulder. Let's see how Jeanne Kim can jump, shall we? Almost. Much, much better. Final slope has been not quite. If Pan again is up to the first zone. There he is. Drops that knee down in order to reach up. Holds the tension. Coordination moves required in a minute. 10 first of all, points on the board. Now swings loose, goes feet first. Up and through. This is definitely not the intended beater. It might be a bit scary in terms of falling on your head here. He's got to be careful. Don't want to have your feet too high, and you had to see where he dropped his feet down below in order to make that work. I'm not sure he's going to try that again. Zhang Kim peels off in the background. She comes down. Putra again at the beginning of this boulder, palming on the first one. But as we've seen a few athletes, you don't want to hang around too long here. There's only so much sweat you can dissipate with that chalk, and I think the longer you hold that side pull, the harder it gets. Creeps up towards the 10. Just the thumb. Now hits it. Fingers on the 10 from Putra. Disappointment from him. Margarita. The setters called this Jakarta dance, this boulder. That was their nickname for it. And you can see why with their footwork. It is a bit like a dance. Creeps down towards the jib. No text on those holds. Tries to find it, wants the foot swap. Ankle getting in the way at the moment. Look, feet first. Come on, someone do it, please. I want to see someone get that foot first method. Right, Margarita is still trying to get the foot sorted. Problem is, she's got her left foot right in the middle. If she had it more on the toe, she could make this swap easier, but she's just got too much rubber involved, too much shoe in the way in order to make that hop, skip and a jump in order to get the right foot in. Now she adjusts it a little bit. She's trying to slide that right foot in. As that buzzer goes, yeah, she falls. I think next time she'll just adjust that foot, or try to anyway. So Putra again, holding on, palming on that volume. Brings the right foot up. Tricky way to do it, but has that left underneath. Almost sits on his own thigh as he gets set up for the next move. Pressing underneath, eyes it up. Strong bicep move in order to stand, but it's just getting your way a bit, having the foot in that position. Margarita goes for the big left stretch on women's 4, so she's ignoring that middle hold. It is working for her. Zhang Kim, now we know she's not the best at those coordination paddles, and I think she was trying to do it statically, but she calls it a day. That will be enough to keep her in touch in this low-scoring round so far. Remember, IFSC app, it's free to download from wherever you find your apps. And you can find out the live scoring from that. But currently leading the way for the women is Vanessa, followed by Zhang Kim, down in 8th. Hong-Young Lee is in a bit of trouble in the bubble, in the danger zone. Zhong Wan-chon leading the way for the men, followed by Troy Dennis, who climbed early on. And down in 8th, Ravi Andy, local hero. His comp finished 24.7 his score. When you compare that to 44.5 for Zhong Wan-chon, a bit of a difference. This was Zhang Kim before she stuck the move. She get through that eventually. This is the outrageous foot first method. It actually almost worked. Had to drop those foot down quickly.
Now we have Korean climbers. This is Song Yun Chan. And in Boulder 4, we're gonna try his last time in Boulder 4.
Yoshiyuki Ogata is out on M1.
Rafiato Rabada.
Shinso swings on her flash attempt. Brilliant work from the South Korean athlete. This is where Giant was struggling though. So up with the left hand. Now needs to commit to this big paddle moves. Feet underneath her. Hits with the match. Once she's got that match, she then needs to go and drive off that squat position.
And Boulder 3, Chinese Taipei's Li Hongying. And with her final climb on Boulder 4, Indonesia's Lita Kahyani Sukma.
Wow, we're not that to watch you. Bring it up and
Very strong effort by Luo Zilu. Baru saja selesai dengan memperkenalkan masing-masing kontestan aja sudah selesai ya, luar biasa kita beberapa peserta menyelesaikan boulder 1.
So let's watch this foot on the Jakarta dance boulder, shall we?
Luar biasa, dan itu pasti
Super.
terhadap klien mereka yang berikutnya, di mana saat ini mereka bisa sih bertenaga dan istirahat lebih.
We're watching here, Yun Chung Song, as he gets himself set up, almost in the coordination. No athlete's really getting close to that. Always falling over to the right. Yoshiyuki with a massive swing, hits the top hole with a 25. He took a monster fall yesterday, but this time it's enough for a top. As a man with no fear. Go and watch the video if you haven't on the IFSC Instagram channel. It's the first clip. And we put it because he was absolutely fine after it, but when you fall from that far up to commit to that. And look at Meiichi Narasaki, left hand under. We know it's the match that makes this hard though. Tries to find some purchase, that left toe not moving, the right foot though on the smear. Second, that right hand holds it, tried to slap over on the top, nothing really there. Maybe pressing underneath next time, but close for Meiichi. I hope we see a replay of that Yoshiyuki Ogata move, because it was a wild swing at the top of that boulder. Yun Chung Song, again, pressing on M3. Gets himself set. Ravianto. Oh, and look at this from Song. Well, he got through the coordination, hits the top. Great finish from him. And a massive smile on his face. I don't think he can quite believe that. That's the confirmation he wants. Leaves in a minute 20 to go. And I tell you what, in conditions like this, when he is a real problem, it's good to have that extra rest.
As it stands right now, for the women's category, it is Seo Cha-Yun holding the lead with Vanessa Tang.
Creeps her way up, hits the 10, wraps the fingers around, thumbs involved on the low zone. Shinso can't get that body position figured out. Now you can see a little bit of frustration coming in as she looks at the clock. Less than a minute to go now. There is the jib, foot on it, just the toes pressing, and remember there's a corner there. Oh, overbalances, somehow holds it, trusting that left foot beautifully. Sliding around there, every time she tries to commit to the move, those fingers slipping on the no-text, and she does fall. Well, we have 25 seconds. I'm not sure she's going to have enough time. It's a slow boulder, that. There is Meiichi once again on the top. This is where he got to last time. More of his right foot now pressing onto that volume. Trying for the double palm, I think, unless he's going to go on top of it. He's got 6 seconds. Well, that's the closest we've seen for a while. Almost held it, slipping down. That will burn his core, trying to stand in that position with just the toes and the smear in. Couple of athletes here to go before we start losing some boulders. Right, this is the coordination move we missed. This is the time he didn't get it. He did get through it eventually. And this was Yoshiyuki's massive swing at the top. Kick that foot out into the volume to hold it.
We have Chinese driver. This is Fan Yufei. In Boulder
This
Lead,
is Meiichi,
we
this is the
have
closest. This is the time before.
Chinese climber. This is Qi En Huan, and trying his best at the last
The final move, we didn't get to see the coordination. We do get to see the end though. Drop knee in order to get into the position, hits the 25.
Song Yun Chung.
Zhong Wenchan down the far left of your screen. We don't have so much of him on this broadcast, but this is his final boulder. And then Miho Nanaka. One of the favourites potentially to win here, but she's got some tough competition. You know how quickly they put by Ito. And remember, only one women's place available for the Japanese team after Aomori took it in burn. But Miho, quick flash of boulder one. I think it's a flash to get that done fast. She'll lead, lots of time to rest for her. Only Fukuba Ito to follow for Miho. Jain Kim swinging off the top of that high red. So has a long look there. This is Do Hyun Lee, highest placing men Korean athlete. Gets the, I was about to say, gets a very strange back toe hook in there. Didn't work. Not really any way of putting any pressure through that right toe in that position. So there is Jongwon Chong. I mentioned him earlier. He's on the slab. He was disappointed by his performance from qualies. Well, that's what he told me anyway. I'm sure the leader of that team is under the men. I think Jain Kim leads the women. Jongwon leads the men. Creeps his fingers up towards the zone. Has a look. Hits the right hand slap. Can't hold it. Zhang there on your screen has a sit and a look. More powerful than it looks, women's too. Daeun Lee starts to swing. And we talked about her early on, Lee Ju So. Across the slab she goes. Jakarta dance begins. I didn't know what the setters were talking about when they told me that. I just sort of nodded, but now I completely understand. It's all about the footwork. It does look like a dance. It's like a little sequence. Jain Kim needs to find some power here. There's the 25, the final hold. Latches it, will get a toe hook, then she'll be done. Oh, so close. She just caught that body backing in. Might have worked. Liquid chalk being applied liberally out there on the stage. This heat and humidity here. Personally, I'm a big fan of it. I have just come from a snowy Chamonix where it's the complete opposite of heat and humidity, so it's quite nice to put on a pair of shorts again. Some of these athletes more used to the conditions as well. The European athletes, when they come out here, really do struggle to adapt to the conditions. Yutong Zhang is up. I want to see at the top of this now. We need to make the match first of all. This big pinch. Shen So and Jain Kim were trying to arm it. Maybe the pinch better. Tian Fan there. Jain Kim once more, middle of your screen, hits the left hand. Jongwon Chon on the split screen, on the slab. Oh, it's not a split screen, it's actually full wide. And now you can properly see that corner I was talking about before.
Good strong effort.
Jongwon goes up again, not looking comfortable on that move though. Can't figure it out. I think, wow, 10 seconds, that is it for him. Yeah, you can see that corner there. Gives me an idea of what the athletes have to wrap their bodies around in order to make it happen.
Climbers in this seat as we get set to enter our 20th heat, which means
and this was Miho's quick top.
Final contestant to make their first climb.
Got that opposing toe down low, hit the 25, down she comes.
In 23, gold and Boulder and also lead. Raising applause for Sormato and Raku. And in Boulder 2, also coming from Japan, with all the big applause to Yoshiyuki Ogata. And then in Japanese stage, his change to races from now in Boulder 3. This is
All right, let's have a quick look at the scores. Jongwon leading away, 49.5, but fairly low scoring.
Trying his last to reach the top. Let's give applause to Song Yun Chan from Korea.
And we are now
So,
waiting for
back
our
underway.
first climb
That's
also
Yoshiki
from
Ogata.
Japan, Nonoha Kube, as well as our
Hits the pinch.
women's semifinalist.
Hits the left hand, good work from him. Now gets to stand up, aiming towards the 25. What will he do? The double press, gets one toe pressing. Makes the match so close from Yoshiyuki, that's not going to count as control. He'll have to come down and do it again, and he wants a brush as well.
We do have a completion.
Hakume leads. That was a send of her. Women's number one as well, becoming a pretty vital one to send that.
And in Boulder 3, Korea's Seo Chai Kyun performing her third.
Meichi stands up in the middle on M3. He's into the coordination now. Drops the right foot down. Trying to hit that and stop. Needs to just go for the full jump over to the right in order to make that work. 3 minutes 13. Exciting stuff here as we near the end of this boulder round. Just one athlete out for the men and women. This is Serato Anraku, the final male out. We had a bit of a delay with the women. That's why we've got this slight delay with the final athlete coming on. But Serato is in action, so this is the last time we'll get to see M1. Serato had an almost perfect round yesterday. Beautiful climbing from him. Topped out the lead route as well. Ooh, trying to face the audience. I like her thinking. We have had slabs like that throughout the year, twice that I remember. We have this rotation. You know, lots of athletes were practicing that in their local gyms. Keep an eye on Yoshiyuki in the middle. One hand on the final hold. Hits it. That is going to be a top from Yoshiyuki Ogata. Good work from him. And I tell you what, for those of you thinking Serato is going to win this thing, Yoshiyuki Ogata is an outside chance for sure on this. Do not count that man out, that legend, as he leaves the stage. Serato, though, is making progress. He's into the low zone. High zone above him. Gets set. Right hand up. Now brings the feet through. Hits the 10. Good work from Serato. How does he hold those moves? Unreal. I'm not going to call him his nickname, but you know what I mean. We can't stay on that last hold. Zulu in the background there. Gets herself set up, hits the 10. Here she goes for the big move, and I think that might be the way, actually. You see everyone trying to match that bottom hold, but I think you want to hold it briefly, flick out, and then undercling the beginning blue hold. You can see once again that corner, she is rotating round. Look at this, she's sticking with that method. Wow. Reaching around the corner, there's no jib there. Well, there is a jib actually, yes, so she's got the jib, facing the crowd. This is an outrageous way to do this boulder, and I'm not convinced that it's the best way to do it, but it's brilliant to see. Certainly sorts out the foot problem, but I think the final rotation is problematic doing it with that method. We'll see though. Shen So in the middle. Hits the swing. Chalks up. There's the 5. Moves through it into the pinches. Good work from Ho so far. Looks for the 10. Into the pinch. Thumbs pressing. Hits the 25 briefly. And with 30 seconds to go, she might have one more go at this. Going to have to be quick. Meichi pulls back on again, and the slab down at the end. Trying to go with the right hand, can't do it, falls. Meichi, one last jump with 19 seconds to go. Big swing, much better, holds it. We could see a top here. Makes the match, one move to go. And it is going to be a top for Meichi Narasaki. Another contender for that gold later on, and a big smile on his face as he leaves with 7 seconds to go. We're breathing hard in this Jakarta heat. Coming up to quarter to 12 here in Jakarta.
As we get set to welcome our next set of climbers, we're going to begin by introducing the women's.
And this is Yoshiyuki's amazing top. Let's see what he did differently. I think it's just pure tension. That was when he fell. Hakume hit this quickly, did it well. We've seen so many different methods. We've seen bicycles on that 10. She went for the high toe on the blue, which looks like the way I think I instinctively try to do that, unless you've got the height. And then Serato couldn't get the final hold, came close, needed to match, couldn't get it. All right, Miho's back in action. And then Futaba Ito, she had a brilliant lead round in order to secure her that first qualifying place, our final athlete out. So remember, we lose men's number 1. We've got a final chance to see women's number 1.
Korea. In Boulder 2, we have Bunny Yufe representing China.
Oh, it's fun here.
And in Boulder 4,
Creeping his way, turning that hold into a side pull. All the body weight, trusting on that left. Once he's in, he'll have a moment to shake out here and chalk if he can find a stable position. Not really choosing to, though. Straight up with the right hand, but watch the barn door. Will it kick him off? That left foot holding him on. That flag slaps right. I think if he had just cricked up a little higher, but he was going, I think. Look at this from Do-Hyun Lee as well. Can we see our second top here? He's readjusting. He wanted a heel in underneath. I don't think it's going to work. It's a low toe. Means he's more directly under it, but can't hold it. And I think he wants to move that toe slightly higher up that volume in order to create a little bit of opposition for that right foot. Jae Kim is creeping away around the corner on women's 4. She has the jib in the left hand, no text hold on the right, but she hasn't made the foot swap yet. The right foot needs to take the place of the left. Now she looks down and starts to pay attention. She does the cross. And I think, again, this cross would work if there was a bit of texture on those top holds, but yeah, just not enough for the thumbs in order to stop that swing around the corner. And she's thinking about the turn, isn't she? She's spun there on the mats, having a think. And this is the thing, I think, for some of the more experienced athletes who have seen that spin move, it definitely would play in your head. And maybe for the ones who haven't, well, big launch towards the 25. Should be fairly simple from here, and it is. Yufei Pan getting it done. I was about to say it should be done by the time he'd made that coordination move. Didn't want to jinx him, so I kept my mouth shut, but it is fairly simple, I think, to get to the 25 once you stop on the hole before.
That's right. Meanwhile, we still have Miho Nanoka trying to solve
Jae Kim standing up. Nah, she's done a good initial moves. Now, I said nah, I didn't mean nah. Halfway through a sentence. I didn't have a nah, Jae Kim. But this foot swap, she couldn't get to figure it out. She was thinking about the twist. I think she still is thinking about the twist. Starts to turn, starts to rotate. Miho makes the big jump. Intended beater, left, right. Jae is turning, rotates. Oh, tries to get the toe. I think that might be the one and only time she tries that. It's not the easiest of moves. Min Tong Zhang now into the 10, one move away. Gets set for the jump, hits it with a pinch. You can see the thumb mark left from the chalk before. Jae Kim's on the foot swap. Miho goes again, 54 seconds to go. She goes maybe different. No, she gets set for the double. Quite figuring it out. She's done with 46 seconds, and I think that's a wise move from Miho Nanaka. Jae Kim is still going though. She's rotating once more. And this is Do-Hyun Lee on the final section. He hits the pin. Jae Kim faces the audience. Come on, make it work. Let's see if she can. What's that left foot though? She hooks it, gets the hook. The problem is you hook it, you still got to turn it, you've still got to rotate again. I'm just not sure that's going to work. Jae calls it a day. So 10 seconds to go. Final athlete, he goes. And that is it for this round. Things settling down here in Jakarta.
Gracious effort by our climbers. As we move on to our remaining heats, who do we have in the men's qualifier?
Yes, the first one, we're going to start in Boulder 2.
Miho launched.
And Rakusorato from Japan. In Boulder 3, we have Okata Yoshiyuki. And in Boulder 4, we have Meiji Nagasaki, all coming from Japan to try their best.
All right, and joining the Japanese men's semi-finalists.
That was Jae Kim falling. Well, hopefully we'll have a look at the scores in a little bit if we can.
The top women's semi-finalists.
But to let you know, keep you updated.
After finishing her first
Yufei Pan leads the way. Zhong Won Chon, Yoshiyuki Ogata, Yun Chong Song, Maichi Narasaki, Tra Dennis, Raviandi Ramadan, Chikai Hai for the men. That is our top 8. For the women, Jae Kim leading the way, 49.5 her score. Yun Tong Zhang, Shen So, Hong Ying Lee, Jilulo Nihon Nakit in 6th, Vanessa Teng in 7th, Margarita in 8th from Kazakhstan. Meichi stands up again, nearly hits it. Shenso with the Jakarta dance, she goes for the cross street. Somehow making that right foot hand attack so much harder than she's making it look in order to pinch that no-tex. And it's a top for Serato. It was very quick. Serato gets 2. No, he doesn't get 2. And he is on the score now with that 25.
Great job, plenty of time to spare as well.
Are we going to see a top here? Shenso hits it with one hand, makes the match. Brilliant work from her on the no-tex. Made it look casual, in all honesty. Minute and a half, that's all it took her to send that one.
Yeah,
She leaves the stage.
Giving her the completion as well.
Huge swing and a jump there. Again from Yoshiyuki Ogata. Should be okay from here. Hits the 25, he is okay. Gets the toe in, hits the 25. Good work from Yoshiyuki Ogata. What a round that man is having so far. He leaves the stage. Meichi's one move away as well. Meichi's latched the top. Look at that, on the 25. Easy on top.
Boulder 4, a clean sweep in this heat. Meichi Narasaki as well, completing his climb. All 3 men's Japanese semifinalists.
Good work from Meichi. This is setting it up to be a Japanese intensive final at the moment. We haven't seen too much of her in this round. I know Hakume is struggling though. 2:30, half the time.
Benar, dan masih 2 lagi yang tersisa, yaitu perwakilan dari Jepang dan China, Nono Hakume and Luo Shilu.
2 athletes on the stage now, everyone else sending their boulders pretty quick.
Under half of the duration remaining.
I know Hakume doesn't love a coordination move. We'll see if she can figure this one out. Really low down on the left.
Ya, kita belum pernah lihat satu hit yang semua climber menyelesaikan goldennya. Siapa tahu bisa terjadi di ronde ini.
There she is. There's the 5. Out into the pinch, rotates the feet through. Powerful moves from now on. Don't hang around too long on these pinches. Into the 10, the jib there for the thumb, waiting. The No Hakume sets herself up for the jump. Left hand, oh, I thought that was in there. All right, let's see what No Hakume can do here. She tries to get the right hand over the top rather than the undercling. I don't think that's going to stick for her. Again, another one of the moves. It's deceptively powerful out there. Last minute for these women. No Hakume stands up into the press. Easy work from her so far. Hits the sloper. This is where things will get tricky for her though. Into the 10. And now, will she go for the undercling move like we've seen? One hand, gets ready. There's lots of chalk under there. Sets herself. It's the double. It's just not quite the right sequence for her. And she doesn't know. 30 seconds. She's gone. Jilulo will have one more time.
Big round of applause.
Into the 10. Thumb pinching, standing right on the top of that grey volume. He needs to launch right. This time it was better. Still couldn't hold it. And we will say goodbye to her. She exits the stage.
Who will take the rest of the time for her next break. In the meantime, as time is winding down, so our
that was the top from Serato. Endlessly impressive, that young man.
23rd heat. Let's welcome our men's semifinalists.
Yes, the first one,
Yoshiyuki Ogata, as we'd expect, launching around.
And in Boulder 4, we have Ukraine coming from China.
All right, and we have as well 2 Japanese semifinalists in the women's side, taking on her second boulder. Here is Futaba Ito, and attempting to solve her third problem in boulder 3, also from Japan, Miho Nonaka. And
So Miho Nanaka is on.
China with her final climb in Boulder for Zhang Yue Tong.
Miho swings, good work from Miho, powerful through that, into the 35-degree angle section, makes the match on the pinches, looks left, swings over, hits it, rotates through with the feet. Powerful moves needed. This is a Miho-style sequence though. She's got 2 pinches to go. Into the second one, holds it, shoulder strength. This is going to be a top from Miho. I thought it might be her boulder, and it is. That's a good top from Miho Nanaka.
Yes, it's Miho Nanaka with her second completion here in Boulder.
Going to do wonders for her score there.
Less than 1 minute. Wow. An excellent climb from Boulder Lead.
So the stadium dropping into a bit of silence here. Yuntong Zhang starts this sequence. She's got the right foot cross through. We know how hard it is though to flick that left up the bottom jib and around the corner. Up towards the 10. Amazing how some of these athletes can make these holds work. So many earlier on were struggling. Look at this angle, great. Towards the 25. 1 move away now. Can he hit it? He can hit it. Awesome work.
The third boulder attempt.
So Hyun Lee getting it done early on.
And we have a completion as well from
And the slab gets done too.
Completing her
Well, 2 out of 2.
boulder 4.
And with 2 minutes 27,
So we
we
have
just
two remaining
have
climbers here.
2
With
climbers
still
out on the mats
plenty
now.
of time. We have Ito Futaba attempting the
So,
second
Futaba
boulder,
Ito.
which seems to be a very challenging boulder for the
She's
women's
on
semifinalists,
2.
as well as Han Yufei trying to navigate
Right hand
his
is on
final
the left.
attempt here on boulder 4.
So there is Futaba Ito. Good lead round, good boulder round. Left her in first position, coming out last here this afternoon. Gets herself, sets the sloper into the 10 easily, but this sequence has proved difficult for all of the women so far. No one really unlocking it. Right, left, that's good work from Futaba Ito. And the top, I don't think she can quite believe that. Brilliant from her. Gets confirmation, and that one she's going to remember for quite a long time. Loved the eyes widening there as she hits the final hold, and a big smile from her face as she leaves. Brilliant work from Futaba Ito. Totally different, didn't try to hit the underclick, but all the way through. Good moves from her. Yifei Pan though will finish things off with a minute to go. Into the press. Forearm in action, bumps it into a palm. A little bit of a wrap around that jib in order to change the body position, get the foot swap in. Left foot up, well read by him. This means that he can control this swing. But moving from here has just proved impossible for almost all, apart from Meichi, who latched it earlier on.
Let's go, we can do this. Just enough time for one final attempt.
20 seconds to go, he's going to have to motor his way through this. He knows the moves, but speed is not your friend when you're trying to be precise on these feet. Now brings the left foot, starts to stand up, bump, 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 hits the 10. There's the buzzers though, it was much better from him running out of time. You feel in an extra 20 seconds he might have got that one, but it wasn't going to go today.
A great round there.
All right, well, let me just update you on the scores as they stand. Yuntong Zhang, we just saw her, 69.9 is her top score. Xian So in second, Miho Nanaka third, Futaba Ito fourth, Jain Kim fifth, Jilulo sixth, Hong Ying Lee seventh, Noha Kume is in 8th for the women. And for the men, Yoshiyuki Ugata leading the way for the men with a 74.7. What a score from him. Followed by Yufei Pan in 2nd, Meichi Narasaki 3rd, Zhong Won-chon 4th, Yoon Chung-song in 5th, Do-hyun Lee 6th, Joao Dennis 7th, and Serato Anraku, although he's only done 2 boulders, he's already in the finals in 8th. And he will know that, so he might settle things down unless he wants to qualify in a better position. But good work from Mr. Serato. That's our top 8. We're just looking for 8 to move forward, remember. Yoshiyuki on the final slab, down on the left.
Oke, dan itu ingat ya.
There is Yoshiyuki. Nobody on his first attempt.
Great move! What a great time by Sorata Anraku.
Keren banget.
1 menit ya. Tidak buang-buang waktu sama sekali.
And that was Serato, who just got the top of M3. We'll see a replay of that hopefully later. Quick work from him as he leaves the stage, really setting himself up here as that man.
Quick completion.
Noha Kume has a brush on the final pinches.
Japanese contingents in the women's semi-finals.
Also in the finals, can she get this? The athletes making the sequence look easier and easier as they unlock it. Stands up on the left, 1 away, makes the match, crimping the edge. That's the match, that's the top, that's the 25. And we'll see her high up as we move into the lead round later on. Do you remember, this score is added to the lead, so although they're in the top 8 at the moment, it's only after the lead that we confirm that top 8, but it does give you an idea of where we're at and who's currently making a play. Yoshiyuki brings the left, good work from him, right up, much, much better. There is a slap on the right, gets it into the jibby crimp thing, nearly hit the blocked hole, but just missing.
Still plenty of time here to go as we watch our 2 Japanese representatives, one from the men's semifinals and the other in the women's, attempting their respective boulders.
Noho Kume scorpions the legs backwards as he hits the first. There's the 5, into the next one. Just the pinches to go.
All right, let's show our support, guys, for our
Tries to get a toe in underneath, it's just a bit high. Wants to commit, needs to commit to the slope, but almost with a pinch, that thumb missing the jib though on the right. Just slightly wrong body position there, needed to move that foot up towards the very top of that volume. Yoshiyuki going again. Comes through, drops onto the jib, rotates. Oh, of course he's going to do it like that. Dynamic as always as he drops and falls into the side pull. Now brings the right foot up. Slightly tricky way of doing this though. Needs to get that left in. Creeps towards the 10 jib. He needs to get a palm on it, because he's not going to be able to make the next move, and needs to foot swap as well, which I think he's wishing he'd done a little lower down now. But with 1:20 to go, he will have time to tweak that beater down low. Make sure of the feet this time.
We still have 2 German climbers now. Ayo kita kasih semangatnya. Kembali.
So Yoshiyuki going again, 40 seconds on the clock. Let's see if he makes that foot adjustment. Drops in as he did before. It'll pop over towards the left. Noho Kume goes into the pinches. She's 1 away. She missed the right pinch that last time. Can she get it this time? No, again, that right thumb. Not quite hitting the jib. Yoshiyuki with a shake of his head. Can't figure out that sequence. He leaves.
Remaining semi-finalists. We're set to bring out a couple more of our semi-finalists. Who do we have for the men?
That was Serato's top. He did it so quick, we missed it. Hit the 25. Easy work
Yes,
from him.
that's for the men. We have the only
He's starting to turn on that mode Serato can find when he just has endless flow out on the wall and nothing seems impossible for him.
Our two Japanese women's semi-finalists we have in Boulder 3, Futaba Ito, as well as maneuvering her final boulder, also from Japan. We welcome back
Miho's back on stage.
Wow, we're seeing how the flag is now here in also the
Yes, thank you for your support.
Apologies, we're not showing you the score, but I will keep you updated as we go along, don't worry. Here's Yuki Gata, we just saw him, he is leading the way. 84.5 is the score to beat for the men in this boulder round. Yutong Zhang, 69.9 for the women. Gohyun gets himself set up for this, wants to find some kind of a foot movement.
With under 60 seconds, an amazing time.
And Futaba Ito, what a send from her, has a wave. She's having a boulder run of a lifetime here. Gets it done. And she leaves the stage, leading Mr. Do-hyun Lee all by himself out there. Apart from Miho, who's crossing through, has the right foot. Tricky move, though, required in order to get around this corner. Right foot pressing. It's just so awkward, this move. Trying to find something right on the sharp edge.
Don't forget to join us later this afternoon. Starting at 6 p.m., we will be beginning the semifinals of the men's and women's lead category.
Into the 10 now, one move away from Miho. And this is going to be a quick send if she can launch it, which she can. Good work from Miho Nanaka, finishing off things with a high. That bumps their score up as well.
Congratulations on the finish. We are still now with Lee Do-hyun from Korea.
It has done wonders for her score. Let's put her right up in the top. 84.8 is Miho's score.
Take your time, stay calm, and let's try to see a strong finish from Lee Do-hyun.
Do-hyun drops left, makes the match. Oh, just saved that. Not quite sure how he managed to save that. Got the left foot on just in time onto the crimp. Now crimping the edge of the volume, that fires. Unlucky stuff for Do-hyun Lee. Well, we're coming to the end of the boulder round here in Jakarta. Lead after that. Place. I think we start broadcasting at 5:55 Jakarta time. I think if you're watching from Europe, it's somewhere in the middle of the night right now, so fair play if you are. Hello and welcome. Do-hyun Lee once more drops into the sideball. Last athlete left on the stage. Holds the sideball, stands up now, creeps himself towards the 10. There it is, wraps that hand around. Latches, hits the starting hold with the right foot, can't make it stick. Immediately goes back to the chalk. He wants another shot at this. Has a minute to get it done. Here we go, Do-hyun Lee. Currently down in sixth, 49.7. 36 seconds, that's all he's got left. Drops in with the left hand, matches with the palm, presses. Here we go again, we know the sequence by now. Left foot or right foot, can't quite see, it's the left foot. Better method from him, right foot flagging under to keep him into position. It's not going to go for Do-hyun Lee, he will leave us.
Okay, a warm round of applause for Lee Do-hyun.
foot about early on. We didn't see much of that one either. She's having an underground, quiet crush of a round. Because we're up to 74.7. And Miho, but she leads the way, 84.8 for her.
And from the women's, we also have making her final attack here in Boulder 4, also from Japan, Nonoha Kume.
So Serato is on his final boulder before we say goodbye to the men. The women's a bit delayed due to technical incident earlier on. Up goes Serato. 0 degrees, it's pure slab. Let's see how he does this footwork sequence. Not many have topped this. We saw Meichi latch it earlier on into the pinch. Comes up and under, palms involved. Now drops right. And his ability to hold slopers is pretty incredible. Knee pressing up, drops that knee down towards the ground, creeps towards the 10. Can't make it work, not quite the height. Needs to stand up on the jib a little more. He'll blow out of breath there as he has a look. He's not used to falling off, is that man? Nonoha Kume. She's doing the rotation. Come on, Nonoha, make this work for us. It is not the way that you should do this slab, but I love it when they try it. But she's not going to try it this time. Has the heel underneath, changes it into toe, which means at some point she's going to have to commit to the foot swap here. Stands up into the 5. There's Serato as he comes over on the left, palming down, catches, adjusts, bumps the right foot. Nonoha Kume is still trying to figure out this foot swap. He needs to bump that foot down if she can, which she can't quite. So tense stuff as the two Japanese athletes are in action. Slow and steady, she's still up there. She's been there a long, long time. Trying to work the feet in now. You can see that the time is ticking down, so unless she gets this sent quickly, she's going to struggle. Serato, though, is doing better. He's got the 10 now. Needs to trust that right foot. Slowly stands up. There's not a lot to pull on up there.
Sisa satu langkah lagi, almost there.
There's the match. Wow, that was a well-fought-for boulder by Nonoha Kume. She deserved that one. It took her almost many minutes to get that done. Nods to the crowd. Has a little look back at her teammate Serato, who is still battling by himself out on the mats. So Serato will try to stand up from this position. Can he find the balancing point? Adjust the foot. Now gets the right high foot up. Serato sitting on 69.8, quite a way behind Yoshiyuki's 84.5, and this is an important boulder for him. That was vital for Serato, and that will jump his score right up into the 80s, and he needed that, because otherwise Yoshiyuki was looking like he might be a long way in front. Of course, we know Serato's got that skills on the lead rope, but that leaves him less to do in order to get through. 84.6. Dennis is down at the bottom, so that is our guaranteed men's now. Serato, Yoshiyuki, Yufei Pan, Meichi Narasaki, Jean Chon, Dohyun Lee, Yun Chung Song, Chao Dennis make up our top 8 at the moment before the lead round.
Which is our women's semi-finalist. So she will be
Kume, 69.6 was her score after getting this. She's in the top 8 now. It's all about giving yourself the least to do during the lead round. Well, final athlete to go, but just waiting Futsaba Ito to come out onto the stage.
Take place on the left side of the stage, where we see our lead wall later on this afternoon, starting at 6 p.m. Our climbers will be taking part in the lead semi-finals. In the meantime, let us now welcome for her final climb in about 10 seconds time.
Oh, here we go. Futsaba Ito will finish things off for this afternoon. Then we have a little bit of a break. We come back 5 to 6 this evening, remember, for the lead round. Here she is, Futsaba Ito. What a round she's having so far. Clearly in a bouldering ability. Ability, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? She boulders well today. All of the athletes, by the way, have gathered towards the lead wall. They're having a look up at that route now, trying to figure out the sequences. The binoculars are out. But we focus on the boulder. Futsaba, jump start. And we know this can be a bit of a slow burner, this one, this foot move. Commits to the smear, gets the left foot on. That's all good. It's the next bit. Swapping those feet. Will she try the cross? I think she is, yes. We haven't really seen anyone make this work as well as the match. And you can see that body position. She's crimping the edge. Remember I told you that corner, that does come into play a little. And it might work for her. It has worked for her, but then she's still got to commit to the right hand. No text. Up to the 10, gets points on that. Left hand up, could this be a flash? Unreal from Futsaba Ito. Stands up slowly, right hand, left hand, it is a flash. What a performance from her. That is special from Futsaba Ito. A good semi-final. And that top 8, well, as long as she doesn't make a mistake during the lead, you wouldn't want to bet against her making a final. And look at breezy as she leaves the stage. Well, hopefully we'll just get a confirmation of the score on the screen for you, so we can show you as our boulder wall clears. Let's see that again. Right hand coming through, left in, good match. Can't believe she made the cross-through footwork. It's really impressive from her.
That's right.
And an easy way to say goodbye to Futsaba Ito.
Observasinya bagian lead yang temboknya di sebelah kiri itu adalah yang paling tinggi ya. Dan di situ peserta yang tadi baru aja menjalankan boulder sama aja mereka akan compete lagi di lead kategori dan di situ dua skornya.
If we don't see the scores, let me tell you the top 8 as they stand. Miho Nanaka leads the way, Futsaba Ito leads the way, 99.7. What a round from here. Miho Nanaka, Yutong Zhang, Xiong So in 4th, Zilu Lao with 69.8. Nanoha Kume in 6th, Zhang Kim 7th, 49.5. Hung Young Lee in 8th with 44.3. And then for the men, Saratuan Raku, 84.6 for him. He's leading the way for the men, high score. Yoshiyuki Ugata, 84.5. Oh, we have seen the score, there we go. So this is the bottom half of the women's. I'll just continue things just in case here. So Serato 84.6, Yoshiyuki Ugata 84.5. Oh, here we go. Futsaba, right. So she leads the way, as I said, 99.7 for her. The top 8 will go through that score on the right. The points will be added to the 100 available for lead. We go down to 8th position. So you can't win a competition here, but you can certainly lose it. So the athletes are doing well to get up, and Futsaba Ito, really, really impressive stuff from her. And for the men, Serato 84.6, he's ahead of his teammate 84.5. Score will be added together. Yufai Pan, Meichi Narasaki, Jomon Chong down in 5th, 54.4. Dohyun Lee, 49.7. Yun Chung Song in 7th. Chuao Dennis, 38.9. So big difference between 8th and 1st. But remember, we're looking for 8 later on. Potentially a lot of people still in touch though. That 100 points for the lead will come later on, so it's not all over. Long way to go here in this competition. Lots to play for. Well, I think we're going to say goodbye to you for now. We'll return at 5 to 6 Jakarta time for the lead finals. There is the lead wall on the left of your screen. Thank you for watching. Congratulations to the athletes. My name is Matt Groom, and we will return later on for more action.
Videonya berdurasi maksimal 1 menit di IG ataupun TikTok dan TikTok bertag masing-masing account dan juga tag 2 teman-temannya. Dan terpilih 5 video terbaik untuk mendapatkan jawaban spesial dari FPT dan See you this afternoon for